Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, that was a great segue where Chaplain Kitchen is talking about Maui. So I serve as a deputy director at A&G and for the Chaplain Corps, and my director, Chaplain Bowling, is currently in Hawaii right now. Providence has it that she was there for something else entirely. This was planned months ago that she was going to be in Hawaii this week. And so what is going on in Hawaii is deeply painful. Right now, this past week, the Air National Guard is planning to send a fatality search and rescue team. Now, when that happens, when we send something like that to a state, that means the state has exhausted its resources. And therefore, what they're asking for is overwhelming them, and therefore they're asking for additional support. And part of, what's beautiful about, the Air National Guard right now, General Lowe, the director of the Air National Guard, when he heard that they wanted a fatality search and rescue team, he said, "I want an RST added to that." That was his own. That's his own go-do. We're not going to send our people without an RST. So, it's a painful time, but we have the leadership right now that's really making this, taking a hard time and making it easier for the people that have to deal with, most likely, a lot of bad things. So, God willing, we pray for Chaplain Bowling. We pray for the people of Hawaii, and hopefully there'll be a quick and speedy recovery, because a lot of damage. All right, so let me talk about my first slide over here. If you notice, Chief Master Sergeant Williamson was supposed to be here today. He's not feeling well, so we wish him a speedy recovery. So he's the funnier guy on the team. So I'm going to try to compensate. I'm going to try. I don't know. I'll give it my best shot. Next slide, please. All right, so I'm going to go through our team. We're going to go through the different initiatives that maybe are total force in nature. Some of them are just good ideas. Maybe you might be interested in seeing and copying. So next slide. So that's our staff. We've got Chaplain Bowling, myself, and we've got a team of 10, well, I'd say 11 altogether. So 8 Stat-Tor members. Those are basically activated guardsmen, and we have we have one regular Reg-Aff person. And we have a dream team right now. I can tell you it is just amazing to work in this office. And I don't say that lightly. Having chaplains working together is always, pleasure. And so a lot of chaplains together, bigger pleasure. And so we are truly blessed to have an amazing team right now. All right, so that leads me to my next slide. All right, that is Chaplain Baker. He's our Reg-Aff representative. He is a rock star. He doesn't, the picture says it all. So he is our fam. He is the person who helps us deploy people, work all those issues. He has become an amazing SME. And so Chaplain Bowling asked me to bring this up because this is a position that is not in talent marketplace and is something that, for sharp majors, that are detail-oriented, that are amazing, that want to do something on a highly impactful mission. This is something you might be wanting to look at. So, like I said, it's not in talent marketplace. You've got to, maybe put that in your wish list. I don't know the details. I would work with your supervisors on that. Next slide. All right. So the first time in 11 years, we had our first symposium. So you are blessed every year to have this. This past couple months ago was the first time we were able to pull this off, and so we're very proud. Those are the people that came. We had an amazing time to go through the Afrogen and all those things that you're getting right now. We did a couple months ago, and then very guard-specific kinds of trainings. Next slide. All right, so it'd be hard for me not to talk to you about this past year, because only 8 months ago we finished up, the NDA came out that the COVID RERs are to come to an end. And if you look at that number, if you're a MAGCOM chaplain, you probably are looking at those numbers and saying, oh boy, that's a lot. We were tracking huge numbers of RERs, and that put a lot of stress on our organization. We brought on like 10, 12, up to 15 people at any given time to work that at NGB, because roughly 4,000 is basically the size of the entire Air Force had at the RegAF. So we worked that. It was an amazing mission to work the staffing side of it and learn that process. So we're glad it's over, but it's obviously sticks out as a defining moment in the Air National Guard. Next slide. All right, supporting the force. So we support the active duty in different ways. We be it MPA tours, be it in deployments, be it in all that, in all those different mobilizations. Depending, we're there to help. Just recently, UCOM. I'll bring up the UCOM. Where Chaplain Lepak reaches out and says, "I hear you have a chaplain a Ukrainian priest. And we are training Ukrainian chaplains out in UCOM. Can he come over and translate and all that?" And so we sent him, and he's made, you tell me, amazing. He was amazing.
Phenomenal difference.
Phenomenal, right?
Absolutely.
He's an amazing chaplain. Actually, I'm flying out with him this afternoon to Reno, Nevada, because he was selected as one of our 3 company grade in the Air National Guard Readiness Center officers to go and to the National Guard Association Conference. So he's been outstanding and stellar. And so people know how real it was, he gave that training, and already, unfortunately, one of the chaplains, Ukrainian chaplains, who was in that class, was killed in action a couple weeks ago. So serious, painful, but also rewarding in what we do. So next slide. All right, we're excited. Thank you, Chaplain Boyd, for working this. We have a chaplain working full-time at the Chaplain Corps College. That is, yes, I think he's doing amazing work. I just met him last week in person at the Chaplain Corps College, and so we're excited for that total force win. Next slide, please. All right, so we did a recruitment video this past year, zero cost to us. It was great for the chaplains, and then this coming year, our plan is to create something for religious affairs airmen. Next slide. All right, let's talk about Arc Tank. So you've heard of Shark Tank. So Shark Tank, you bring your best pitch, and you sell your business idea, and then if you get selected, boom, the world is your oyster, and life changes amazingly. So I was like, okay, I want to do something where we take the best ideas in the field and and share them across the 54 states and territories and District of Columbia. So what we did is that one night I had to think about, okay, what kind of name? What's the name I should call this? So I went, Arc Tank. Let me go with Arc Tank. I go to my wife and she says, that's corny. That's corny. That's a corny idea. And I take it to the staff next morning. They say, no, we love it. Okay, all right. Well, it's stuck. So Arc Tank is what it is. We had this past year our first one in January. It was the Arc Tank. We had 5 presentations that were given to 3 judges. The 3 judges were 2 stars online, the Air National Guard Readiness Center 2-star, and the J1 at NGB 2-star, and our own mobilization assistant to Chief of Chaplains, Chaplain Painter. Yes, thank you. Was it worth it, sir? It was. I
really enjoyed being a part of that and seeing all those ideas.
Yeah, thank you. It was 5 amazing ideas. They picked someone, and then General Lowe, the director of the National Guard, when he heard about the Arc Tank, he said, you know what, I want that chaplain to come to the National Guard Association Conference, which is happening this weekend, which I'm going to, and present this idea. So again, the Chaplain Corps is getting its name out there, presenting new ideas and reimagining, the Chaplain Corps. So, and by the way, his topic was on creating helping airmen creating an ethical framework. There's free literature he put together that can be sent out, and the chaplain can sit down and help that airman develop an ethical framework. And we're going to get to a slide where that's going to come in more importantly. Next slide, please. So another initiative this past year is wellness checks. So a lot of times when a MAJCOM calls your wing Do you feel good about it? Are you excited about it? Is it typically the kind of phone call you want to get? So the same thing with our 90 wings. Our 90 wings typically are like, oh no, why is NGB calling me? You know, so we want to do something positive, and that was the wellness checks. How are you doing? Just simple relationship building that has nothing to do with any requirements or asking you to do something or no, you're not doing this thing right. Just how are you doing? A very successful program, so we're excited about that. Next slide. AFCAR's next. Chaplain Carollo, my wingman. I've never met this guy until 2 days ago, and yet I was working with him for 2 years. So, you know, we created the AFCAR's Next. It's a product that if you maximize its potential, it can absolutely change the way you do things, because data drives decisions, as we always hear, and I like to say is timely data drives relevancy. And so if you've got the timely data, you can make a huge difference. And I'm gonna show you an example in the next slide. Unauthorized disclosure. Not something we're proud about in the Air National Guard. We had an airman in Massachusetts go and share things he wasn't supposed to. And so we've looked at how, from the Chaplain Corps, what we could do to make a difference. And one of the things we're looking at is so we have 107,000 airmen in the Air National Guard. 29,000 of them have clearances above secret. 29,000. That's a huge population. And yet we only have, I forget the number, about only 57 chaplains with clearance. And so our big initiative right now is to say, hey, if our chaplains can get the clearance they need across the 90, they can talk to people like him before it gets to this point. They can talk to the people that we're seeing things, and now they're challenged with an ethical framework of, should I report it or should I not do anything about it? And so the idea is we're going to upgrade. We're working that right now with our A2, and they're jumping on it. But why I bring it up is another reason why we're doing this clearance. How am I justifying it? Through AFCARs. Because in AFCARs, you look in AFCARs right now, for the Air National Guard chaplain, the second highest category counseling is workplace. Now, if my chaplain can't provide workplace counselings because of the clearance, then you're not maximizing the potential of that chaplain. Next slide. All right, palming. Palming is never a fun thing. So, you know, I gotta go quickly. So, that's Chief Williamson. So one day there's strong bonds. I go to a meeting. We're about to cut strong bonds by $500,000. Now we've got a $3 million budget for strong bonds. So $500,000 is a big cut. So I couldn't make it to the next meeting. So I went to Chief Williamson. I said, Chief, I know you're a boxer. I need you to do me a favor. It's going to be a real fight tomorrow. Bring your gloves. So he brought his gloves. So he goes to the meeting, sits at the meeting, and he goes, well, you know, I have something to share, but before I do, takes out the gloves, boom. Place was on the floor, and I don't know if we gave good justifications, but they voted us all the $500,000 back. Thank you, Chief. Next slide. TFRISC. TFRISC 2.0. So TFRISC stands for Tactical Field Religious Support Kit. It's something we use for domestic operations. So on the left-hand side is our old one that we came out in 2015. I know, 1 minute. Oh, I'm out. Okay, it's something where it's a portable chapel. So we're now redoing it. We sent out a survey, and based on the survey, you can see what they want us to get. Or roughly, we're gonna work on getting you. We're looking to create a new way of doing religious support for domestic operations, but this is something that could have a lot of use for other usages as well. Next slide. All right, so we work hard, we play harder. You'll see we have a great time at NGB. We're doing a lot of work, but we also have a lot of fun. We do things together. We're great, and one team, one fight. Next slide, and thank you so much.